Amen. That's right.
Second, I'd like to honor the pastor and the prophet of this house.
Amen.
Rene. And honor the assistant pastor and first lady of this house. Rene. Give honor to you guys. Today, I will be coming from Matthew 5, chapter 5. I'll be talking about the state of blessedness.
All right.
This is when Jesus gives the Beatitudes. But if you look more into it, that sermon was real good where Jesus was giving the Beatitudes because it was deeper. He was more decreeing some things in the Beatitudes than maybe a lot of people have read. The word beatitude comes from the Latin word beatitudo, meaning blessedness, right, which also means the state of being blessed with divine favor. This word affirms a state of blessing that already exists. Each beatitude declares that a group of people usually regarded as afflicted is actually blessed. Those blessed do not have to do anything to attain this blessing. Jesus simply declares that they already have been blessed. Thus, the Beatitudes are first of all the declaration of God's grace, which is favor. They are not conditions of salvation or roadmaps to earn entry into God's kingdom. So the thing about it is that we got to look at what Jesus is actually saying. He's already telling people that you're already blessed, but you got to learn how to attain the blessing and the favor and to live accordance with it.
Right.
Pretty much you just got to learn how to walk with the favor, be with favor, dwell in the favor. A lot of people don't think the favor exists because they're not reaching out for it. They don't think they even have it. So it's already there, but what Jesus is trying to let the people know is to unlock it, to know and to know that you already attained it, but you got to learn to live in accordance with it now. The opposite of the beatitude is actually misery. Misery being afflicted unwittingly with painful suffering. So you're going through things that you don't even need to go through. You're going down a road where now the blessing, the favor is not following you. You're going through these things unnecessarily now. You're going through the problems, the stresses of life, and not realizing that these are things that you don't have to go through.
That's right.
Because God still gives you the free will of a choice to understand how you're going to live, how you're going to walk, in this life that He gives us. But if we're not willing to walk in the favor, what other way are you going to walk if it's not in favor? It's going to be the misery. And what's the misery? The world. The world can't offer you what God is offering. Can't offer you favor. It can't offer you the blessing what God can do for you once you walk with it and live according with it. God created us to be blessed and to be recipients of His favor and His steadfast love and to live as those that are blessed. Something has to be done on our behalf so that we can enter the state of blessedness. The people Jesus describes in the Beatitudes are living their lives in accordance with the fact that they have been blessed with every spiritual blessing in heavenly places. This is totally at odds with what the world considers blessed. So the world has a totally different view of what the blessing is. Their idea, their mindset is the things of the world, but God has another view of blessing and and how He created blessing, how He wants to give you blessing. The world is a conflict with God. It doesn't match. Even though God created the world, He created everything that exists, what the world has become and what it's trying to develop is trying to take now God's perspective and what He called blessing and His ideas and say that it's nothing. So we gotta learn how to attain it and live according with the favor. Chapter 5, verse 1, we're gonna start reading. It says, Now when He saw the crowds, He went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to Him and He began to teach them, saying, I'm gonna stop right there, and you can see the setting on where Jesus went up. He went up on the mountainside. The mountainside pretty much represents place of authority. He went to go sit somewhere so that now He can begin to teach His disciples on what the Beatitude actually was. And it just shows the perspective of who Jesus was when He went onto the mountainside. It showed that to Him, and what He was trying to show to the readers is that Jesus is authority. When He went onto the mountainside, He didn't just say, let me just go up there. He went up there for a reason. The mountain is a place of high authority. So it was more like the king sitting on the throne. He was taking his seat before he was about to address his disciples, his citizens. You know, and we got to look at it that God, when he begins to say anything, he always speaks from the throne. Always speaks from the throne. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Right? When we look at this now, it emphasizes on spiritual condition, spiritual poverty, recognition of our need for God. If we don't have a need for God, what do we have a need for? We have to be, and it says we have to be poor in spirit. We have to be very low in ourselves, low in saying that we need God. If we can't rely on ourselves and say that we want God, it defeats the purpose of who God is. God is everything that we need, and we can't enter the kingdom without really relying on him and trusting him and trusting who he is and what he can give us. Because then now if we don't do that, we rely so much on ourselves and not knowing that we put ourselves in a situation where we can be stuck and be frustrated and not know where to go because we have not put ourselves in a place of lowliness of saying that we need God. It's not bad to say that we have a spiritual condition of poverty for the fact that we need him. The opposite of poor would be pride. And that's another clash of what the world wants. It's like when you have pride and say, yeah, I'm the man, I'm doing my thing, pride. You want to just feel like you're the man and you don't need nobody else. And that's the thing with God. God said, if you have all this pride, then you don't need me. And we can't walk around having this whole pride on our chest and saying that we don't need God and then we expect God to do something for us. It causes a clash. It defeats the purpose of who God is. And not only that, when we do these things, these are rewards that God gives us. As it says here, this is the kingdom of heaven. God is willing to give you every blessing that the kingdom has. The kingdom of heaven has so much to offer, but if we're not in our place of knowing, we have to become low in ourselves and acknowledge God as king and put pride to the side, we can't read. The state of blessedness is walking according to what God requires. It's the decrees that Jesus is declaring, the decrees that he wants, that he's saying that we should do so that we can now walk in favor and that life is not so hard. These are not more like affliction. A lot of us look, they look at Christians that, we afflicted and we never have anything, but God has given us so much eternally. Eternally has given us so much blessings inside that, but we just need to release it and walk in it. It says, the next verse 4, it says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." And what is mourn? Those that speaks of deep sorrow, over sin or what they have done. And there's nothing wrong with walking in, mourning yourself and saying that I'm wrong, because when you say that you're wrong, you allow God to comfort you. You allow God to come in and heal you, begin to minister onto you, and begin to speak to you. Because if now you don't admit wrong, you don't admit sin, you don't admit anything that you've done, and mourn and say that God, I've sinned and I need to forgive ask for forgiveness. God can't come in and comfort you. He can't hold you. He can't minister. He can't talk to you. He can't tell you where to go. He can't tell you where to now, what path to take, what direction to go. We're not allowing him to. We're not admitting to God and saying, God, I need you. God, I'm wrong. God, I've sinned. I've done wrong. I've not walked in a place that was pleasing to you. Now I have to allow God to direct me, comfort me, show me where to go, show me how to do things, God. Be my God, be my leader. I trust in you, I have faith in you, and believe that you will comfort me through the times when I've done wrong, times where I didn't know what to do. And we have to be honest with ourselves. One thing we have to do is be honest with ourselves. When we make a mistake, go to God. Go to God. Don't feel bad. What makes us feel bad is a mistake, and we don't want to go to him, but that's why we should go to him. Yeah. That's why we should go to God and say, God, please, forgive me, God. I want to get out of this habit. I want to get out of this mindset. I want to get out this way of living. We got to go to God and say, God, please. Comfort me in this time of need. Comfort me in this time where I don't know, where I'm confused and don't know what to do. We need to do that in the situation that we live, because we are going to go through things things in life where we're not going to know what to do, but God has the answer. God has the answer. He knows exactly what he's going to do for you, but until you guys see that, okay, he's coming to me, my son is coming to me, my daughter is coming to me, now I can comfort them. It's nothing. It's one of the best things to know that someone comforts you. You ever feel the feeling of comfort? A mother comforts you, a father comforts you. When after you've done something, they say, "It's all right, son." You know, they come and hug you and say, "It's all right." It's one of the best feelings, and we gotta really be more on ourselves, more on what we do, so that we can allow God to comfort us now and put us in that place. And these things are, and like I said, these things are blessings for the fact that not a lot of people are doing what the Beatitudes is talking about. They look at it as simple. They look at it as like, these are requirements. God already blessed you. God already said that you blessed. But he wants you to live these things so that life can be easier for you. And now you can start to see him bless you now. You can start to see him move in your life. These things are not the requirements and things you have to do to enter the kingdom of God. These are not things that you need to do, but these are things that you already have, but you need to learn how to live with it. You need to learn how to move in it. Take life, day at a time and live and get better in ourselves. Verse 5 says, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." And what is meek? Strength under control. The quality of enduring all things with even temper. So that means dealing with things not so much on yourself and want to take control of everything, but trusting God. Trusting God. You might know what to do, but go to God before you do things, because sometimes you can do things out of temper and out of first reaction and not really being meek and going to God and saying, "God, can you show me the way? Can you follow me in this direction, or in how to address my brother, address my sister," and not react off of the first thing. Because sometimes we want to just fly off, and it's not always the answer. God, you never react on the first reaction. Never. And I can testify to that. We sometimes you get out of control, but it's all right. It's okay. That's why God is there. That's why God is there. You gotta trust him, endure all things in even temper, handle things in the right way, and how God wants you to do it. Because when you do things out of control and not in the way of God, things tend to go wrong because you feel like, oh, you so right, and you know it's right, but you're really doing the wrong thing by reacting. Do things in even temper. Don't ever go into life and go into things off of first reaction. Never react off first reaction. Always go in even temperness. Always be easy on things.
Amen.
Easy. Just go steady pace and trust God. And discern and not take it off your own will. And the opposite of that is arrogance. Sometimes you can be arrogant, think you just all that. You just know. You know everything. Like I said, you think you know everything. Everything. And it's not so, because you don't. It's true. It's true. We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. We got to include God in everything that we do. Everything that we do. And it says, "For they will inherit the earth." And everything should be, and you inherit the earth, the goods of the earth. Everything that's in the earth you get. He don't mind blessing you. Your business will be blessed. Life will be blessed. You be blessings to others. God don't mind giving you everything while you're here. But follow him. Be easy on things. And he will give you the inheritance of the earth. Verse 6 says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." Righteousness is to acquit and vindicate and restore a right relationship. Those who maintain right relationship with God and other people are filled with righteousness. So this is more talking about doing things in the right way with people, and also with God. We gotta understand that when we do things, we have to do it in the right manner, in the right way, because when you right with God, God will make you right with other people. And he will send the right people around you. If you're gonna ever do a business and you're ever gonna plan on just going anywhere, God will send the right people for you. He will never mix you with bad company, mix you with people that's going to deceive you, that's going to bring you down and, just tear you up and make you worse than when they met you. We got to understand, once you do things the right way, God will push you so far, he'll put you with people that's going to take you to the next place. He'll take you, that's going to lead you to your next blessing. We can't only look at righteousness of just doing right, but God wants us to do things the right way so that it can lead us into the next place, lead us into where we need to go, lead us into people that we need to see, so that we can receive whatever blessing that God is going to give us. We got to do right before people. We don't need to, anytime we do something right, we have to do right before in God's eyes, not in people's eyes. We shouldn't just wait for some other people around to see us be doing right. We should do right all the time. We shouldn't pick and choose. Be right. Be who you are. Be what God has called you to be. Don't decide if I should do it. If you know it's right, do it. Do it because everything you sow, you reap what you sow. So God, don't think that God look at that one decision and say, okay, my son, no. Make sure you do the right things. Make sure you follow the ways of God. The way, and like I said, and he should satisfy. You should be filled. You should be filled. And then the opposite of that is that you're pursuing your own personal needs. So that means you're just doing what you want to do. You're pursuing your own self-will, not you're pursuing what you think is right. No, do what God says is right, and not do the opposite. It said, verse 7, blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy. This mercy is shown through forgiveness and also by offering kindness and compassion toward others. A lot of us don't want to show mercy onto people. And the thing about it is that when it's your time, you expect to get it, but we don't want to show it when it's other people. God will, and I understand that God will show you mercy once you show mercy onto your brother, your sister, whoever it is. God will show you that same mercy. When you don't show anybody mercy, it's a sign of unforgiveness in a sense. And mercy is good because it comforts the person, lets the person know it's okay not to do it again, but it shows them that mercy is there and that we're not stuck once we make a bad decision and there's no turning back from it. Mercy is something that we all need and we all deserve for the fact that we're not going to do everything right. We're not going to always make the right decision. So mercy is something that we do need and that is a requirement that we should show unto other people. Show unto other people no matter what it is, no matter what they've done to you. Mercy should be something that is in you and you should develop for the fact that you never know when it's your time.
Right.
You never know when you're going to need that one time when you say, God, please have mercy on me. Yeah. You don't know what you can do. You don't know the level of what you can do. You don't know what it is, but you just don't understand. You won't beg for mercy. You want to tell God, please. Yes. Have mercy on me, please. I know some of us been in that situation already. We say, God, please. Have mercy for what I've done, what I said. Yes. And a lot of us just want to be quick to kill. Right. And if that was the case, we all be gone. Lord have mercy. So we should thank God for mercy. We should be understanding that mercy is a blessing. Yes. Mercy is a blessing from God because you gotta ask for mercy every day. Right. Mm-hmm. You gotta ask for mercy every single day you get up. Every day. We should all live in that and understand that, develop it, and not be quick to just shun your brothers, shun your sisters, and shun people for what they've done wrong, but show mercy and understand, it's all right, but I'll show you mercy. And think of yourself when you do it. Think about yourself when you see other people going through something and what they've done. Think of yourself. If that was me, I wish that I could get that mercy. I wish that people would forgive me and understand me and know that not to take my mistakes and hang it over my head. Verse 8 says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. And to be pure in heart means to be free of all selfish intentions and self-seeking desires. And that's a great sign of a blessing as well, because pure in heart, that means that like I said, those selfish intentions, some of us have our own intentions and not caring for other people. Our hearts got to be big nowadays. Nowadays, our hearts got to be open and hearing God and believing God and accept the love and be pure towards one another, because we can't be selfish in this world. People are so, and I think that's the main one of the big things in the world, that people are so selfish nowadays. Their heart is not big towards, it is not big towards people anymore. They don't want to receive and help people, and the heart is gone. The heart